Finally, 5 minutes to myself, and a wee cuppa. You know, Paul's been going on an awful lot about the referendum. He's always, you should vote yes, and democracy's important. I think about it for myself, but thinking's hard, and I'm pretty sure that Google's run by evil witches, so I'll probably just vote no to fuck with them.
This came through the post today. I've no idea what to do with it. I thought it would be the dusters I ordered from Amazon. I better go and have a cup of tea.
First time I've sat down all day. There's lots to do to get rid of Trident from Scotland.
This is the first time I've sat down all day. I've done all the housework, I've ironed Paul's shirts, I've made the children's tea, I've even managed to do some flower arranging.
I'm having a wee cuppa. After all, I've just done the windies.
Best time of the day. Sitting having a wee coffee. Tea was my plan B, mind you.
Just having a wee cup of tea. You know, wee 5 minutes to myself when everyone's out the house, dead quiet. Time to thinking that, you know. It's what I think about. What we're having for dinner. All these dishes that I'm needing done. What putting a wash in it. I just don't know. I mean, there's so many things to think about, isn't there? Or I could go online. I could look up stuff about the referendum, you know, this dead important thing that's happening in 3 weeks' time. Aye, that's what I'll do. A wee couple of minutes to myself, go online, see what folk are saying, and then make up my own mind. Not what him indoors thinks. Maybe you should too.
I'm having a little cuppa, but I'm too busy canvassing for the referendum to do any housework. That's what I've got a husband for. Vote yes.
Hiya, I'm a woman, having a cuppa. Can't quite decide. Do I tip over my head? Vote yes.
First time I've sat down all day. Oh no, I've picked the wrong mug.
It's nice to get a good cup of tea, isn't it? Fuck.
Hi there, I'm just sitting with a wee cup of tea and my cupcake, and I am demented about this Yes campaign. Oh, what do I know? I'm just a single mum to a 12-year-old boy who's obsessed with it. Comes in for the school, Mum, who are you voting? And I'll, son, I've got all my work today, I've got my ironing, your school uniform, and I've no time, like all the mothers. So he says, well, Mum, it's my future. I can, son, but what do I know? So he came in and says, Mum, have a wee read at this. Our future. Yes. I'll have a wee read tonight after I do the ironing.
I've been watching all these women having their cup of tea, so I thought, I'll have one of them. Maybe no though. I've just had a wee look in the cupboard and the tin's empty, so I'll not be having one, so it's easy for me. Yes, I'm afraid.
Best time of the day this. See my Kenny, been doing my nothing. Keeps banging on about this referendum. He started again this morning, and I told him, is it that it's too early to be discussing politics? Eat your cereal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know how important this decision is, but will we get to keep the pound? So that'll be a yes for me then. You're up next, Barry, Christine and Kerry Brackens Fisher. Good luck.
I'm having a cuppa. First one all day. I'm an independent woman of independent mind, and I'm voting yes. Ask yourself, ladies, what would Margot do? You should vote yes.
Hello, I'm Joan McAlpine, just an ordinary mum having a cup of tea at the Gretna border. I've just managed to fit it in after a very busy day. You know what it's like for us women, you can never have time to think. We're here to celebrate Scottish-English friendship. This is my friend Emma. She works at Gretna. She's a hairdresser. Are you wanting to buy it? I've heard people talk about it. Not at all. Yeah, what affects your business? You think people still get married at Gretna, don't you? We celebrate this. There will be no borders after the yes vote. It'll just be Scottish self-respect and an equal partnership with Iceland. So yes. Cheers.
So I said to my Paul, how are you voting? He said, I'm a no. I've had his voting card. Fuck him.
It's difficult for a woman to know how to vote in this referendum. I let my fanny decide.
Don't you just love the morning cuppa? Helps you clear your mind, helps you think. I've been thinking a lot about home recently. Scotland is currently facing one of the biggest decisions of its history. In just over 2 weeks, my home country is going to be voting on whether or not it wants to stay part of the United Kingdom, and that's a very exciting time for every Scot around the world. I don't get an opportunity to vote in this momentous decision because I live in Australia, but I've been following this campaign for the past 2 years. I've heard the scared stories about how we won't be able to use the pound, how we'll get kicked out of the EU, and even the aliens are going to attack Scotland if we don't have those anti-alien measures Westminster has in place. Recently, Australia's Prime Minister even opened his mouth to let his belly rumble, saying that if you vote yes, you're not a friend of freedom, you're not a friend of justice. I've also seen and heard about Trident being based in Scotland against the Scottish people's wishes, about the bedroom tax which Scotland voted against and how that's affected the Scottish families, about the amount of food banks that have opened in Scotland and the amount of families that are living in poverty. Scotland's a wealthy country with many natural resources. Even if you don't count the oil, there's no need for children to be living in poverty, facing a bleak, hopeless future because they can't afford an education and they can't afford healthcare. That's no freedom. That's not justice. They tell you you can't do it, that you're too small, that it'll cost too much, that it's too much of a risk. Well, considering the state things are in at the moment, I'd say that's a risk worth taking.
I'm just sitting here, having a wee cappuccino and a wee fag. I'm just thinking, see all this referendum shit? I can't be doing it, you know. It's both in my head. I'm like, I'm a woman, what do I know about politics? Just leave that to the men. And I've got too much to do, I've got hair, nails, big decisions to make, like, will I chips for the dinner, or potatoes? I'll put the washing out the now, because it might rain tomorrow. And what, the rain wants a fag? I'm like, will I give him one? Well, I know, because my brain's future is important to me, you know. See all the stuff on the telly, and I'm like, well, Ted was saying we're better together. Must be true, it's on telly. Right, I can't believe I've just done that. I was nominated by Lizzie Fitzpatrick. I now nominate Lizzie Fitzpatrick, Karen Fitzpatrick and Lynn Fitzpatrick. It's all for a good cause. On you go.
Right, here's me ready for my favourite bit of the day, which is when I have my wee cup of tea. But my problem is, what cup will I use? Will it be this one? Or will it be this one? See, I'm going to make sure that we're never gubbed or treated the way we were by the Tory government ever again in Scotland. So I'm going out to campaign for the Yes campaign. I'm not going to bother with tea.
It's that time of the day again. I get to have a wee cup of tea and I think. Of course, I've got nothing other than time because I don't have a husband and I've not got anyone, so bags of time to sit and think about what I'm going to decide with this referendum malarkey. I could take on board all the fear tactics, worry about my pension. Of course, they reckon that by the time I get to pension age, I'll probably be dead. So what's the point of worrying about that, eh? I can always just think about what devolved powers have done for me and the decisions that have been made at Holyrood that have benefited me. I could look at the fact that I get £10,000 of free prescription healthcare on the NHS in Scotland that I'd have to pay for in England to treat my chronic condition. Or I could think about the fact that I've got 2 university degrees and they're funded by the Scottish Government. Of course, I don't use that education that much. I'm just a woman, me. But what that education has given me is quite a good job so I can pay into my society and give something back for all the things I've got out. It does make me wonder though, what if we could control more things and they could benefit more Scottish people like me? What if Scotland got the decisions around their fiscal and monetary policy and we could determine the budget that we get to spend on things like healthcare and education and welfare and all the things we get? I could think about that. And I could also think about how good it would be if we had control of our own defence policy and what we do with billions of pounds and whether we should spend them on Trident nuclear weapons or whether I could think about my children's future and whether I'd rather that money got spent on their education and their health. But you know what? Why look at my own experience when I could just listen to that dude off the telly? I'm sure he knows what's best. He doesn't know what I've been through, but I reckon I'll side with him anyway.
Sorry, wait till I turn that rocket off. A fine cup of tea. I best enjoy it. Don't know when I'm going to get another one. See, it's Saturday. Kids are off school. And my man, he's working away in the oil rigs. I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, that man off the telly, you know, the one with the eyebrows, he keeps saying the oil's about to run out. I just don't know what's going to happen. Kids, will you eat your cereal? Anyway, about this referendum, I just don't know which way to vote. I mean, I love Scotland, and I really want the best for my kids. But you know what? I don't have time to think about this just now. I've got too much housework to do. I think I'm going to have to leave this decision up to somebody else to make for me. What do you think, kids? I think that says it all.
Well, hello, and how are you? I've got 5 minutes peace and quiet just to sit down with a wee cup of tea. Actually, it's not a wee cup of tea, it's a wee mug of brandy. When you've been married as long as I have, you need a wee mug of brandy every now and again. My wains are all grown up and I've left home. Aye, but 2 of them had to leave Scotland in order to get work. I've been thinking about independence since we were gobbed in 1979, when those who had died between the making up of the electoral register and the referendum were deemed to have voted no. I've been thinking about independence since Westminster stole 6,000 miles of the Scottish North Sea. I've been thinking about independence since we were dragged into an illegal war with Iraq, and we are guilty by association in murder, torture and rendition flights, and in undermining the UN. I've been thinking about independence since the destruction of Scotland's coal industry, and its shipbuilding, and its mining, and its heavy engineering, and its fishing fleet. I've been thinking about independence since the destruction of the social compact between the electorate and the rich boys' club in Westminster, where they all have their nice wee shares in private health companies and private medical insurance companies. I've been thinking about independence since 1962, when Polaris was parked on the Clyde, followed by Trident, weapons of mass destruction in Scotland. I don't want my grandchildren to have to leave Scotland to find work. I don't want my grandchildren to have to pay for their education, or pay to go and see a doctor, or pay to go to hospital. I don't want my grandchildren being brainwashed into being frightened of people with a different colour skin, or of a different nationality, or a different culture. I don't want that for my grandchildren. I want everybody in Scotland to be able to get up in the morning and look themselves in the mirror and say, I live in a fair and a just and an equitable society. That's what I want for Scotland. And because of that, I am going to vote yes, of course I am.
Aye, nice to get time for a wee cup of tea. It's even better when we can get one together. Hardly getting any time together at the minute, thanks to this referendum. We're ordinary, independent women, and we're both voting yes. Only problem is, I've got a yes meeting tonight, so can you pick up some cereal?
Having a cuppa? Too busy with the referendum to do any housework.
Aye, that time of day. A couple of minutes to yourself. Peace and quiet. Time to think. And there's a lot to think about right now. We've got a very big decision to make. It's awfully difficult to make that decision. My old man's pressurising me every day. Have you decided yet? It's just so hard. Because you've got the man off the telly telling us, you know, oil is the answer to everything. And I just don't know. Sounds too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, well, wait a minute. I've had an idea. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my brain because I do actually have one. And I know that the man off the telly is actually called Alex Salmond and the other man off the telly is called Alistair Darling. Now, there are two viewpoints, and I'm not saying one is more Scottish than the other because I think that is rubbish. There are good Scots who are choosing to vote yes, and there are good Scots who are choosing to vote no. But what we have to do is make sure that the way we vote is decided by information. And I'm not talking about, oh, there's not enough information to make that decision. I'm talking about look for the information that's there. There's a lot of information out there. Don't make your decision on fear, because I think that's where the Better Together group are letting people down. They're pushing us by fear, when I've spoken to a lot of people who want to vote no, and there are some very intelligent ones who have intelligent reasons for voting no. Maybe they should be talking instead of the politicians who keep telling us you're not good enough, you can't do it by yourself. And just to prove that, we're going to put a video up of a woman going, I don't really understand, I don't know what to do. I'll have a cup of tea and go, oh yeah, I'm too scared to vote yes, so now I've made my decision. I'm sorry, Better Together. You have to do better than that. Next time, I'll be insulting the yes group. Bye!
I made a wee cup of tea for you, darling. Cheers.
Alright, pals. What was you thinking? Put down the dishes. Right, I've done the dishes. What could I think about now? got it. I ken what I could do now. I could vote on that X Factor. Paul's just been in to help me to shut my puss. Well, I better make my mind up. Will I give Paul peas or carrots for his dinner tonight?
Here's my cup of tea. Where's my peace and quiet? First cup of tea I've had all day. So, I'm going to be voting yes because I've thought about it and I want him and I want her over there, hi, to grow up in a country that's got no nuclear weapons. What have you spilt now?
I vote for Wick, you know, see I'm busy.
Best time of the day this. Everyone's out and I can enjoy my pavlova in peace. It's good stuff, pavlova. Much nicer than cereal. Anyway, I've been thinking about Scottish independence. I'm a New Zealander. There's 4 million of us. There's 5 million people in Scotland. Good for them. They're still worried that it's not enough, though, to be an independent country. They're also worried that the oil's going to run out. I thought that having oil in your economy was a good thing, but apparently it's a bit of a concern. I don't know. What could a country with only 5 million people possibly do to kickstart an economy that's historically based on agriculture? I don't know. They should probably just vote no. There's probably not that many options. Oh well, I've had my pav. I think I might watch a DVD now. What's this one? What do you think? Should I watch this one?
First 5 minutes I've had all day. This house, nothing but housework. Cleaning, washing, running about after the rain. And I sit down for 5 minutes to get a wee cup of tea. And what does she want me to do? Talk about that bloody referendum. I don't hear anything else in this house. I'll be eating my cereal in the morning and all I get, referendum. Why are you out chapping the neighbours' doors? I say, because it's 6:30 in the morning, they'll still be sleeping. You get me one of those asbos. And she never thinks of the rain. It's my Wayne here. See this referendum? It's about his future. And see that man on the telly? Never mentioned my Wayne. Never thought about my Wayne's future. What's going to happen to my Wayne when we get independence. Oh, that bloody referendum. You'll catch me out blethering about my vote. My vote's private. You'll never know how I voted. No, you will. But see, when I vote, it's going to be for my Wayne's future.
Evening all. It's that time of night. We've had our tea. Kids are heading off to bed and the husband's out at the pub. I'm sitting down with my wee cup of tea, getting a moment to myself. I don't think much about politics really, and it doesn't affect me much. I don't like to watch those two fishy sounding politicians on the telly shouting at each other. But kind of important what's happening recently. And we're being asked a really serious question in Scotland. Should we become an independent country or not? It's kind of a big one. One that requires quite a lot of thought. It requires quite a lot of research. And most people that I speak to have done just that. They've spoken to their friends and family. They've looked on the internet. They've read as much as they can to find out whether it's the right thing to do for our country or not. We have a chance to change our system. We have a chance to say that we no longer want to be part of a system that is corrupt and immoral. We want to take control back to the people in Scotland. Who is best to look after the interests of Scotland than those that live and work here? I don't want to be ruled by an elite in Westminster, one that I never voted for. I want my vote to count. I want to choose my politicians. I want to have the control over our own country. Why would we hand that to anyone else? So that's why I'm voting yes.
Hi folks, well, it's that time of the day. The kids, they've gone to school and they've got a playgroup. And it's just me and a load of tasks to fulfil this day. Look, I've got an unmade bed. Just me and the dog. Does anybody fancy doing this pile of washing? No, me either. What about this? Who wants to tidy this bedroom? Oh, that's the wild boy's room. It's Noah's room. So, I've got so much tasks to do today. So much housewife things. I've got dishes, I've got washing, I've got floors to hoover. You know, you think there was nothing better to do. Hang on a minute. Maybe there is something better I could be doing. Maybe I could be researching. Maybe I could be informing myself. Maybe I could be educating myself. Because there's a referendum coming up. We've been given the opportunity to vote on whether we want our Scotland to be independent or not. Now, the washing can wait for me. Do you know why? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I ask my friends and I ask my family. I go online, I Google, I read the white paper, I watch the debates, I listen to debates. When my children come to me in the morning and ask about independence or the referendum, I don't ignore them and think they're ignorant because they've got their faces put in their smartphones. I talk to them about it. I tell them to use their smartphones. The World Wide Web. It's got everything on there you need. Have a look in it. Apart from the videos and the blogs that are getting banned, of course. But, you know, it's really important that we educate ourselves. That we don't stand to be patronised. And I won't stand for my children to be patronised either. I can be quite irritating. But I'm afraid that's just a bad habit that I have. My endless political posts and rants. But you know what? This is important to me. This is the future of my country. This is my children and my grandchildren's future. It's going to affect them more than it's going to affect me. I've looked at all the information and I know what's best for the economy of Scotland. I know what we need to do, and this has got nothing about race. This is about the transfer of power, and it's about the distribution of wealth. For me, I've made my decision, and it's yes.
Having a cuppy, the first one of the day, the best one. I'm a single woman. Goodness knows how I managed to keep myself informed with no husband around. And I'm living in a no household. But I'm an independent woman. I've got an independent mind, and I keep myself informed. They're called books. Here you go.
Referendum? What's a referendum? And a vote? I mean, a vote for a woman? Imagine that! What a waste of time. No, I must be dead stupid, because see, for a wee second there, I actually thought about voting yes. I mean, that would give us a better future, a better country. I don't need that. I just need a better cup of tea.
The best time of the day. Those 2 minutes when your partner's in the kitchen washing up his cereal bowl and you can just sit down and have a wee cup of tea. Actually, I have quite a lot of time to have wee cups of tea. This is like my 5th today. I'm kind of wired right now. Because I don't have kids. Still a woman, though. Still got a vote. And just because I don't have my own children doesn't mean I think it's particularly amusing to gamble with the future of anybody else's children. And that's why I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. I listened to people. I asked questions. I talked. And I made up my mind.
That woman on the telly's lucky she's got time for a cup of tea. I'm a mum with 3 weans, and between housework, school runs, homework and kids clubs, I don't have much time for much else. But I made time for this referendum. They're right when they say it's the most important decision we'll make in this lifetime, and for that reason I think it's important for everyone to make an informed decision. So I popped onto Google, I did my own research, and then I made up my own mind. And for that reason I'll be voting.
It's 10:20. This is about the first time I've had to myself all day. The children are in their bed. I've got my cup of tea, which I've discovered I can't have because there's no milk. My milk is off because I went out canvassing and campaigning. I'm now going to go and put in this huge pile of yes voters into the system. I'll vote yes, and so are these guys.
Having a cuppa. The first 5 minutes I've had all day. Bye. Been so busy, run off my feet. Tea's made, dishes are done. I've still got work to do. Still got a load of reading. I've got a decision to make. I've got to make up my mind. I've thought about it. I've made my mind up. I'm going to chuck the cup of tea. Start drinking the wine.
Best time of the day, this. This is the time of day when my other half busies himself getting the children to bed, doing the dishes. And I come in here to my office where I run my business. It's also the time when I get a chance to think about how I'm going to vote in the independence referendum. This referendum's really important and I need to make my decision for the right reasons. To help me do that, I've been researching. I've been going on the internet. I've been reading everything I can get my hands on. I've been looking at all the different sides, listening to all the different people. Not just about different parties or individuals, not believing everything I'm told, not believing the scary stories, but going out, finding out for myself, trying to work out what's right and what's wrong. I've been talking to my friends and my family. We've even been talking about it over breakfast. And I've been making my mind up. And I think I'm going to vote to protect my children's future, to do what's right for them. And I do want to protect them. I want to protect them from having a lifetime of debt just so they can get an education. I want to protect them from having to pay to access the NHS. I want to protect them from getting dragged into other people's wars and from having to live up the road from nuclear weapons. And I want to protect them from the sort of vicious austerity cuts, the sorts of policies that target vulnerable people at the same time as it rewards the rich. Yes, I want to protect my children's future. So I am going to do what's right. I've made up my mind. I have made up my intelligent, thinking and independent mind. And I'm going to be voting yes.
It's that time of day again when you get to sit down and have a cup of, well, not got any tea, but when you get to sit down and think about all the things that, you know, the big decisions in life that you have to make. Now, recently I've been wondering, would I like to carry on with a government that I've never voted for ever in my life, and neither has anyone else in Scotland? Or would I like to live in a country that's independent? Independent? Of course I would.
Hi, my name's Anne-Marie. I'm in my kitchen. I don't conform to this having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I prefer a can of juice. Today I have choice. Wow, and I'll be voting yes.
So here I am, having a cuppa and spending my time promoting the Yes campaign for Scottish independence. I'm far too busy to be doing housework.
You having a cup of tea?
I can.
Are you voting yes?
Yes.
And we're not?
I'm not.
it together.
Good girl. Say cheers.
Cheers.
I like this cleaning product, but I also like this cleaning product. Do you know what else I like? Not being patronised and actually informing myself before I vote yes on September 18th. Cheers.
It's that time of the day where I get to sit down and have a nice cup of tea. I've been really busy ironing all Paul's shirts. He was on at me again this morning about who I'm going to vote for in this referendum thingy. Those guys off the telly are always on about it. Those two, the fishy ones, salmon and sturgeon. Oh, I don't know what they're going on about. Anyway, I said, shut up Paul, it's too early, eat your cereal. I'm taking my mother out today. She gets free bus travel. Then I need to pick up the kids' prescriptions and get them all ready for going off to uni. That's free too. I'll be the first one to mourn when I lose all that. Aye. Fuck you, Paul. I'm voting yes.
This is me just sat down a wee cup of G&T. My husband's going to be in soon and I haven't even got his dinner on yet. I've been sitting here basically all day doing nothing, but I have decided one thing. Voting yes.
It's a lot to think about. Get the cleaning, the cooking, and the ability to think for myself. Vote yes.
This is for Scotland, girls. I can feed the cat, cut the grass, put the garbage out late at night, run a business, pay my own bills, and feed my family right. Play harmonica Friday nights, go to bed at 3 a.m. I can drink tea all day with no one to tell me when, 'cause I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. I'll say it again. I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. That's yes.